Before we begin, Football Queensland acknowledges the First Nations peoples on whose lands we play on, embrace the traditional owners, continued cultural and spiritual connection to the country, and pay our respect to their ancestors and descendants who continue to inspire us. I'm your host Tash for episode 14 of the FQ show here on the Yagara country. We have a really special episode today celebrating NAIDOC Week. NAIDOC Week is celebrated annually across Australia during the first week of July from the 3rd to the 10th. In Queensland, we acknowledge NAIDOC Week with our Indigenous round across all competitions from the 8th to the 10th of July. Joining me on today's show is Kirrily Phillips and Fearn, both proud First Nations people involved in our game in Queensland. Kirrily is in our top FQPL women's competition at Penn Power, who scored 6 goals already this season as a defender. Welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
How is the run home looking for the team at the moment?
Really good. We're still staying strong. Unfortunately, the weather's been playing tricks on us, so we haven't been able to get as many training sessions in as we would like. But yeah, the girls are continuing to stay strong. We're all really motivated to push through the second part of the season.
Yeah, you've had a really strong first start of the season and first time in this league. How are you feeling about it?
At the beginning, I was really nervous, almost questioning my position on the team. But yeah, as you said, I'm a defender. We've got pretty much one of the best defensive backlines in the league. And I'm playing a really big part in the scoring as well. So I'm confident and I'm having a really good season.
Yeah, your team has there's no standout outright goal scorer for your team. You're kind of sharing that around, which would definitely make teams question who to mark, where to mark, especially when you push up and do those long balls into the goals.
Yeah, I'm just literally just having cracks outside the box and they seem to be landing in the back of the net.
That's great. And Josh, a striker for Lakes FC in the FQPL 3 men's comp, you're currently sitting in second place and you're leading with the Golden Boot tally, 19 goals in 12 matches, already surpassing your 2021 tally for 18 goals in 23 matches. How's the team going and how motivated are you to push for FQPL 2?
Yeah, thanks Tash. The goal scoring stuff, it's really good, but I just big team player. I'm lucky I've got really good players behind me. I've got a lot of good players assisting me, like my cousin Daniel Fogarty and other good players. So we've got a really good young team this year. Really good coach staff with Wayne Heath and Andy Lincoln. But yeah, we're really pushing hard. It's the top 4, top 5 are really good teams. So it's each week. It's just got to be consistent and get a result, because if you don't, the other teams will beat us and jump on top of us.
Yeah, for sure. How's have you been playing FQPL 3 for a couple of years or?
Yeah, last year we were in FQPL 3 too, Cap 3. So the goal was last year to get promoted, and we had a good season last year. But this season again, we have to be consistent. So the goal is to get promoted. That top 2, because you can have a playoff. But the goal is to be first. So Georgia are a very good team. We're top 2 with St George at the moment. So, but like I said, there's still a very good few teams. There's Bayside, Newmarket. There's Pine Hills. We have to be really on our game each week to get the result.
Yeah, all pushing for that playoffs. It's really interesting. The playoffs weren't really an option last year. Do you think that entices all the teams to push?
Absolutely. With our boys, especially the intensity is there. Week in, week out, we're getting a lot of numbers with our 23s into our first team. So and we've got a lot of our younger 23s now pushing to play first team, which is giving them an opportunity.
Great. Yeah.
But yeah, the goal is promotion. So we can't give ourselves no excuses this year.
Yeah, nice. Well, hope that leads into the rest of the season. We've got a second half to go. Hopefully this weather clears up for you both.
Absolutely.
Have you been on the park much with the team in the recent weather? Or?
Yeah. So we're always still consistently training. If we're washed out, we're doing an indoor session, or we're going to the gym or doing road runs.
Yeah, great.
Me at my age, I don't really like going to the gym or doing road runs. But
road runs, the knees can't handle those.
But I tried to show a bit of initiative and get to training, because I am the club captain. So try to lead the way for the boys, especially for the younger boys.
For sure.
Especially like Kirrily does over here.
Try to.
Can you tell us about your mob, where you're from, and a bit about them?
Yeah, so I'm a very proud Gumbaynggirr woman. So my family's bloodline runs in and around the northern rivers of New South Wales.
Yeah.
I was born in Coffs Harbour, but grew up around like Grafton, Lismore. But I've been calling Meanjin and Brisbane home for the last 15, 16 years now.
Yeah.
It's where I've done most of my schooling, my university, where I've raised and my 3 beautiful children, where I'm playing football now.
Yeah, wow. I can't believe you're a mum of 3. You look so good and playing so well.
He's a dad of 4 over here.
Yeah, look at you both leading by example.
It's good moisturising cream.
Yeah, which one is it?
Black
Amy
Magic.
oil.
And your mum?
Yeah, my mom's from Newcastle or Warwickle country on my father's side.
Yeah.
But I was also brought up and raised up in Darrawal country in Campbelltown.
Yep.
So I also like to represent that mob too because I spent most of my childhood there.
Yeah.
And for me, it's now I'm up on Gubbi Gubbi country. So I'm loving to learn the Murray ways. Because back home we do different things differently, and up here they do different things up here.
Yeah.
So I'm working alongside real closely with Uncle Goma Conlon. So he's taken me under his wing, and he's a Cherbourg man. So I just sit back, listen to him, and he's teaching me the ways up here. So it's been deadly.
Yeah. So when you do move around, what do you do? Do you go meet someone, a different mob, and then get to know their culture a little bit?
Yeah.
Or,
So usually, like when you go onto someone else's country, you try and meet with some of the elders or the community members. Just getting involved with some of the events that are happening from that community.
Yep.
But yeah, like Fernie said, it's really important that once you move on to someone else's country that you do make some kind of connection.
Yep.
You let them know who you are and where you're from, and there's always definitely someone that knows your family or someone that knows your mum or your dad or and that's you tell them of your last name and that's how you make that connection initially.
Yeah. And so how do you find that? Do you just
usually like word of mouth.
Word of mouth.
You could just even go to like one of your Aboriginal medical services, or you go to some of like the NAIDOC events.
Yeah.
And then you just
From
yarn.
there.
Yeah. Sit
From
around
there,
and
it
yarn.
just goes on. Oh,
Yeah.
great. Yeah, good. Josh, last month you actually hosted an information session with the men's and women's squad at the Lakes.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about what you covered? And
Yeah. So again, that was like from the club as well. Like 4 years ago when we first started this, the NAIDOC stuff. It was a great initiative from the club.
Yeah.
But I've been working alongside the club president, Brett Davenport and Emma Morehouse. So they're very passionate behind it. So again, like working closely with Emma, so she initiates a lot of it. She's an English woman, and she loves our culture. So it's for me, it gives me a little bit of a step back, and they take a bit of ownership of us as well around reconciliation, which is very important.
Yep.
But yeah, we ran an information session. Me and Daniel Fogarty, we just talked a bit about our culture, what NAIDOC is, why we celebrate it, what's reconciliation, the little things we spoke about as well, like the difference between acknowledgement of country and a welcome to country. And it's fine, I said to the players, the coaching staff, it's fine if you don't know the answers, because a lot of them didn't. And that's what we're here for. Myself, Kirrily, other role models, Ramon Close. This is why we're here in the community, wanting to share our people, our culture. But we just did like questions, answers. We did a bit of a cook up as well. So we cooked a bit of kangaroo and damper, and showed them all the didgeridoo and where the didge is from. And it was really good. Everyone was really intrigued, and it was inspiring, to be honest. It was good.
And is that a yearly thing that the Lakes do? Or?
It was actually the first time we've done it this year.
Okay.
The information session. So I thought it was a good initiative from Emma to want to do something like that, something different. Because I'm always saying to them, we need to do things different. You need to think outside the box, and she came up with that great idea. So I said, let's do it. And we had, it was packed. We had all the women's team there, all the men's team, and it was good. We all mingled, and again, we just yarned and.
Yeah, that sounds like a really good good way to catch up and
I wasn't too happy because we had the Bunnies game on and they were losing, so...
That's fair enough. Can't all plan it out the way we like, but that's really good. Do you plan on doing that for years to come? Not just the senior
definitely.
team?
Look, you never know. Movements next year. My home is at the Lakes.
Yes.
But I'm getting older now, so I've got 4 kids to worry about.
Your goal tally says otherwise.
If
it's decreased a little bit, I'm sure other teams will still want you.
My age doesn't. But no, look, they're going in a good, massive, and it's a great direction the club's going in. You know, and Penn Power doing the same, and there's other clubs in the community, Caboolture, and other clubs that are all doing really good with promoting Indigenous and cultural awareness. So, you know, and that's what, you know, myself and Kirrily and Ramon and George Freeman and all these other players are doing. You know, we're just trying to create that awareness for other teams and other mobs, and get out there and showcase what we can do.
Yeah, no, that's great.
I think it's really like special what you've done as well for Lakes. It's one thing to have like a jersey, you know, and to celebrate that way, but to go that step forward, step further, and, you know, really showcase what our culture's about, and just almost having some of those uncomfortable conversations that some people aren't really comfortable having outside of a space that you've probably provided for them to be able to ask those questions. So yeah, I think it was really good.
Yeah, Kirry's exactly right. Like, it's an uncomfortable space sometimes. Like, especially, you know, for Indigenous people, we get shame. But then you have your non-Indigenous people that are ashamed to ask questions.
Yeah, it's one of those.
So it's good that I was luckily, you know, I had Fogs with me that was supporting, you know, and he was answering questions as well. So it just wasn't just me.
Yes.
So it's always good to have, you know, that support person. So it's really
to
good.
help you out. Yeah, 100%. Is there any other ways that clubs can you know, help promote if they don't have someone who is Indigenous within their club, is reaching out? Do you know of any ways
I guess,
they can do, or
I guess for
that?
clubs, I think it's to go in that right direction. It's like asking the question: do you identify of Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander? You know, some people are ashamed; they might not know much about their culture or mob and that, which is fine, and that's why players like us and other people around, like we've got Indigenous footballers here, Damien Monday, he'll come around and he'll help, he'll support it. So I guess it's just, you know, asking the question, you know, when they're registering, do you identify as Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander? And then the clubs can go back and see who actually identifies, and they can speak to their family.
No, that's great. That's a great initiative.
Yeah, and I think like Queensland Indigenous football, like you're saying, Damien and Lawrence, you know, they're doing some really good things with Indigenous football at the moment. So yeah, if they're wanting to get on board with NAIDOC Week or some kind of celebration for Indigenous football, they would definitely be the first person to make contact with.
The NAIDOC Week theme is Get Up, Stand Up, Shop. How can we do this better in the Australian football community?
I think this theme this year is quite powerful. It's a call for action, for change. It looks at, you know, almost reflecting on where we've been and where we're headed. Football Queensland has been doing some really great initiatives this year, just with promoting NAIDOC Week, and also like a lot of the clubs now are getting involved in the jersey round as well.
Outside of football, you're both doing fantastic work supporting your local Indigenous communities. Kirrily is an oral health therapist, and Josh is a leader in the lead senior youth worker in the Y in North Lakes, formerly known as YMCA. Tell us a bit about how you support the communities in your roles.
So I'm lucky enough that I do work in the community. So and my position is lead senior youth worker. So our organisation that I work for, we're a flexi school for disengaged young people that aren't able to go to mainstream schools. So I started there about 3 years ago now. And I noticed when I first started there was no culture at the school. I walked in for the interview, I didn't see no Aboriginal flags, Torres Strait Islander flags, no paintings. So the first thing I said to the manager, the boss at the time, I said, mate, a lot of things need to change. I said, I want to implement X, Y, Z. And he said to me, go for it. So since started, I just bumped into Uncle Gomer Conlon. So we started yarning, and like Kirrily mentioned earlier, we just started mentioning about mobs back home, and he knew family, and I knew his nephew who I used to work with at Brisbane Youth Detention Centre. So we just started building connections like that. Then before we knew it, we're doing Dig programs, art programs. We did a big corroboree for our graduation at the end of the year last year in front of about 500 people.
That's great.
So so just working in the community and working in a school environment for me is, you know, I really appreciate it, because I never, you know, education side of things, growing up, you know, wasn't too much into education myself. So now working back into this sector now, and I'm able to give back to communities, like, it's a massive accomplishment for me.
Yeah, for sure.
And seeing these kids excel, like especially our Indigenous kids, you know, they want to do cultural programs now. They're not ashamed to get up and play the didgeridoo, or ashamed to do a corroboree, or ashamed to go home to their mum or their nan and say, oh, look at this artwork I've just done. So so again,
That's
like
great.
since starting, I'm so grateful to work at the Y. But now, like we're doing culture programs all over the organisation now.
That's
so
great.
firstly, it started at Mango Hill, North Lakes. Now
Yep.
I've got Uncle Goma working across the whole organisation.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
That would be a really good change that
Yeah.
that you started, especially when you moved up here, and you know, not just Indigenous kids, but all the kids in your environment, and now you know, having being able to be taught this, which they might not have got. So that's a really good.
Absolutely, and I also, whenever we do culture programs, we open it up to our non-Indigenous kids as well. So again, like we want to touch base and talk about reconciliation and teach educate our non-Indigenous kids around culture. And then a lot of the time you get to see a lot of our non-Indigenous kids so interested about our culture. So you know, when you walk into a room and you see that, it's, you know, like it makes you enjoy your job more and more every day. For
sure, that would be really rewarding.
Yeah.
And that's some great work that you're doing there at the Y, and all around, not just in the Mango Hill now. And it's good to see that your workplace was really wanting to also incorporate it across the board. So that would be really great, especially if you went in saying things need to change, and they've been really receptive of that. And also for you to say that as well takes a lot of credit too. What about you, Kira?
So I'm an oral health therapist. I've been working for 2 of the largest Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander community health services in southeast Queensland.
Wow.
So I graduated about 10 years ago now.
Yes.
So that community health has always been sort of my passion and my space. So I'm working within a dental setting, but also go out to some of the schools and just do lots of oral health promotion. Not just oral health, but like, you know, health promotion and well-being. I recently just started in private practice now, so I've moved a little bit outside of that community space. But yeah, also working with the Australian Dental Association around creating almost like culturally appropriate oral health resources, posters and brochures that are appealing to First Nations people. But yeah, I worked alongside Daily Choices for a little bit, just in that healthy lifestyle initiative programs. So that's what I've been doing the last sort of 10 years in my professional career.
So you've been a oral health therapist for 10 years now.
10 years now.
Wow, time has flown by.
A long time.
And you do you go and do some I've seen you've gone to Sydney to do some chats or some sort of promotional stuff.
Yeah, so at the moment there's a really big push in reconciliation action plans. And some of the big peak national dental bodies of Australia are implementing those first phases. So they've brought on me and another dentist, Indigenous dentist, to come along and just share our sort of perspective on cultural appropriateness within the dental space. I've been going down to Sydney and going to Melbourne next week, and
good.
Flying around. But it's been good.
So you go down to these talks, and then who are you chatting to in those talks?
So they're usually key stakeholders that make all the big decisions within the dental settings of Australia. But they could be professionals like dentists or health therapists, CEOs of these organisations. Oh,
that's great that you're able to have a chat with them and educate them there and how to make the first phase.
That's it. And just having a dental setting that's more culturally safe for us.
That's great. Oh wow, a lot happening in your space. Is there anything different you see that football brings out in the community compared to regular stuff you're doing?
I think football for us is really the vehicle for us getting together. There's the last recent years there's been a few Indigenous football championships that allow us to all come together and share our knowledges and and that's when the football starts to shine with us.
For sure. In the representation side of things, you're both a part of the Indigenous Roos and Indigenous Koalas. You're captain of that, Kirrily. What does First Nations representation mean to you guys?
Look, like it's absolute. Again, that's an honour. Like, you know, we've both been selected a few times now. As you mentioned, Kirrily's the captain of the women's team, and she's a real deadly player, this one.
Yeah.
But you know, it's we all love when we go into camp together. Like you know, remember the first camp? I think 2 years ago we all got together, and then this camp that's just gone by. It's just all of us coming together, and we had new players come in this year, and it's just like we're all one big mob, and we just all laugh and muck around. But you know, when we're at training, it's you know, it's really we take it really serious. We get our preparations right. But when we have quiet time, we can muck around and be silly.
Yeah.
But it's that's an honour. Like we love putting on that green and gold and making sure we have our Indigenous patterns all over our jerseys. And when we score, the boys, we get up and do a big shake leg, and the girls do their thing when they score. Kirrily took a top off last time, waving around like that.
Can we put a video of that in there? Your celebrations are always very good.
Yeah. Can I add something to that?
Yeah.
Can we go? Oh
Yeah.
So yeah, again, like this year was very special for me, Daniel Fogarty, Rocky Gabby, because we, before the game started, I asked if we could get a shirt made for a young fella that passed away back home, Jai Wright. His father, Lachlan Wright, is very close with us. We played with the Eora All Blacks. It's another tournament back home, Indigenous tournament, and Uncle Daryl Wright as well. So we want to pay my respects to them, and you know, we're still thinking about them, and you know, it was a very sad time, and it was an emotional time, and you know, when I got that opportunity to score that goal, you know, it meant a lot to me. It wasn't about just scoring a goal. It was, you know, I really was preparing myself for it, and it meant a lot to me. So when you seen on the video, or when the game was on, the boys got around us, and we made a big statement about it. So you know, rest in peace to the young fella, and you know, he's in our memories. Yeah,
that's great. No, that would have been a really nice moment for the team and yourself there. So that's great that you were able to pay your respects to him in a way that he also would have. Sorry, did he play as well?
Yeah, he played as well. He was only young, young fella, but he did play football. He was been around it all his life. You know, he was a big part of us when we'll go to the championships. So he was a real good young fella.
That would have been great. For the whole community there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful. That's a great story. And I'm sure we can see the passion in the goal from that. Yeah. And how are the preparations going for the upcoming tournament in November?
They're going really strong. I founded and captained the Gender Magic team. So Gender, in where I'm from in Gulbenga, means sister. So sister magic.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, so I've been putting a team in since the very beginning, since 2018. And last year we took out the championships, which was a very long time coming, but it was really exciting. We've got most of the girls are returning this year. We've got a few key players that are coming in as new girls. But yeah, we're soon to get together. We're all just staying fit throughout the season, and we're all really looking forward to November.
Yeah, that sounds great. So do you continue training post-season? And are you the recruiter of this team?
So I'm the recruiter, manager. I've got a bit of help, but we don't really have any off-season, so we'll have end of Football Queensland season, and then we'll kick straight into the Gender Magic. We'll catch up a few times before November in between those couple of months. We've now, fortunately, Ramon Close has put together a men's team, and that's Bungee Magic. So Bungee in, common term, it means brother.
Okay. Great.
Yeah, so we've got a...
Sister and brother.
Yeah, so putting a men's team in, and he's heading that. And
great. Will you be a part of this brothers team?
I'm just waiting to see if the mob from back home are coming up.
Oh, okay. So you might be a part of...
So at this stage, I don't know where I'll be playing.
But who wants the top goal scorer, hey?
We do.
I'm sure Ramon does.
Yeah.
But look, again, like they're doing amazing things, Kirrily, with her women's team there, and you know, I did play last year. I did play with Sunshine Coast Go Winners because the mob didn't come up. So big thanks to Wayno. You know, and I'm sure they'll do great again this year. But like at this stage,
keep your options open.
Everyone's trying to fight for it.
And it's a wonderful championship they have up here. You know, again, it just brings all communities together. You know, everyone wants to win it. You know, because you know, we're all passionate and we play to win, but at the same time, we love seeing all communities together. So again, like Damien's doing like an amazing job with organising the event. You know, another massive milestone for us again, where this year will be held at the Lakes FC. championship.
Awesome. That would be very
So yeah,
full circle for you.
Yeah.
If your mom's coming
Right
up
at home.
and also at your current club here,
Yeah, so
that would be great.
So it's great to see, see it at the club. But it's just great to have everyone together. It's really good.
For sure.
Yeah.
So interstate travel, mobs coming up is quite normal. How many teams are normally involved in this tournament?
So this year, last year it was only quite small just because of the borders that were closed. So this year I've heard talks that there's at least 14 women's teams and 14 men's teams.
Wow, across the country?
Yeah, across the country.
That
so
is
there's
awesome.
teams coming from WA, Darwin, South Australia, Victoria, all over this year.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, really good. And competition's going to be high.
Yep.
It's really cool because from these championships is where the national team is selected.
Yep.
So everyone's out there to try and spot the sunshine
Secure
on
their
them.
spot.
And
Yeah.
So
That's a very exciting opportunity,
Yep.
and I can't wait for November.
yeah, it'll be good.
Yeah. What's your message to aspiring young girls, and particularly Indigenous footballers, who might be looking up to you as a role model?
It's something that I hold really close to my heart. A lot of the girls on my team, they're only young.
Yep.
It's just about giving them that opportunity, just to say yes to absolutely everything that comes their way.
Yeah. Is that something you did?
I felt like I did, but I didn't have these football opportunities when I was growing up.
Yeah.
So I'm 33 now, and I feel like I'm only just beginning my football career.
And smashing it.
Yeah, and I just think, what would have happened if I had sort of these opportunities back when I was 15 or 16? Who knows where I could have been. So Gender Magic has always just been about providing that pathway for these young girls.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just about saying yes. Something that's worth it is always going to be hard. It's always going to be, you're always going to be nervous. But, there's people like me and like Fearny and lots of other, young adults that are there that are going to be helping to support and just sort of break down any barriers that are there that they might face.
Yeah, no, that's great that
Yeah.
you're able to assist the young girls coming through.
Yeah.
And for you, the boys, do they have anything that... like Gender Magic that they can strive to for the males, or?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, Kirrily mentioned it. Like, we're both 33. I'm 34 this year.
Yeah.
So I love to see the younger fellas come up.
Yep.
Especially, they keep us on our toes. They
Yeah.
make us want to be fitter and faster. Because there's so many good young talent. So
Yep.
many good Indigenous players out there, and
Yes.
the tournament gets the perfect time to showcase them. So even if they are young, don't be ashamed. Get up there, have a go.
You won't know it.
You won't
know
know it.
until you try.
That's right. I look like I'm 20 when I'm running around.
When the camera's really far away.
Well, yeah, sure. Yeah.
No, that's great. There's currently 55 Indigenous players across our semi-professional leagues in the NPL, FQPL1 and FQPL2 men's. What's it like playing with the girls and with and against other First Nations people?
I was actually really surprised about that figure when I saw it on Football
Yeah.
Queensland. I think I'd selected like 23 or something when you just did the poll.
Yeah.
But you always spot the other black fella out in the field.
Yep.
So, I know that particularly like this year and last year, I played against the Thunder and
Yep.
I saw some of the other girls, and it's just, you spot each other, and you kind of like at the end of the game you might go up and just say hello, and
Yep.
but it's we've been a minority in not just football but throughout every aspect of Australia. So it's just about strengthening those connections and putting ourselves out there.
Yeah, no, that's great. I didn't realise the number either, so
Yeah, it's good.
That's great, and it's great that you're able to have that connection with people that you're just playing on the weekend and that you might not come across. I mean, Thunder is a little bit further away. You might not have been playing against them the past couple of years, but for you to get that chance to go out there and just meet someone new, it's what it's all about.
Yeah, and I think for Mob, like rugby league is always such a huge big sport. Netball, but soccer, football's on the rise.
It's getting bigger and
Yeah,
bigger.
getting bigger.
Yeah, no, that's great. Yep. Is there many in your competition?
Yeah, there is a few,
Yeah.
but obviously everyone knows when they play us and it comes, especially like NAIDOC round, they know of like myself and Daniel Fogarty.
Yep.
So
Key people to mark the goal scorers,
no,
hey?
just Fogarty, Fogs, he's the main man. I just sit there and just get the tap in.
A goal's a goal.
Yeah, that's it.
What would you like to see being done more across the Queensland football community?
I'm really loving the acknowledgements that Football Queensland have been doing. I know at Pen Power we have it before every game up on the screen.
Yep.
Fearn, you're doing really amazing work at Lakes. It would be amazing if that was replicated throughout every single club.
Yep.
And it wasn't just like an elective that a club might want to do or might want to do, something that should be implemented at the very beginning of every season.
Yeah.
That's what I would like to see.
Yeah, 100%. Like, you know, clubs just need to think outside the box. Like, you don't have to have Indigenous staff or Indigenous players at your club to, you know, promote awareness or do Indigenous round like NAIDOC jerseys and that.
Yeah.
Take that initiative, and you know, and that again, that's promoting awareness for our people.
Yeah, for sure. No, these are some great takeaways, and something that we can just definitely strive for.
Yeah.
And I guess, like Kirrily said, you know, making sure that acknowledgement of countries are done before, you know, like any meetings or any gatherings that take place is very important to acknowledge the land that we're on.
Yeah.
For sure.
No, for sure. It's something really small that people can do that makes a massive difference.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Just to wrap up, who do you think has the best NAIDOC week kit?
I'll let Kirrily answer this first. I'll be last to
Pen
answer this
Powers
question.
is looking pretty amazing.
Is it?
But Lakes definitely have come out and got a deadly design.
That is a nice polo.
Very nice. Yeah, but I know Olympic has got a really nice one as well.
Yep.
I think those three are my top ones.
Yeah. Do you like the colours on each of those kits, or what's the standout on those?
Just the design, the pattern, and what the stories represent.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. Of yourself, Josh?
I have to say the obvious, the Lakes FC, definitely. But you know, like it's Uncle Gomez come up with the design, and like Kirrily said, every artist out there, I just want to say thank you for being involved and doing all these amazing, deadly artwork on these jerseys, because each jersey has a storyline behind it.
Yep.
You know, but like I've just seen Pen Powers one; they've got a really good one, and I think I've seen Southside Eagles as well.
Yeah. So how do you find out about the story behind it? Should that be somewhere on their website?
Yeah, on the website. So our storyline's on our website.
Yep.
So the artist should leave what the story means.
Yep.
So
cool.
Each club, you know, potentially should have it. If not, maybe they can ask the artist.
Yeah, awesome. That's.
But
really
there's so many good. They're all deadly. They're all really good.
Yeah, I know Vito's doing some really good stuff with their designs.
Vito are doing really good, and also like Yelea are doing amazing work as well.
Yes, yep. Thanks, Kira, for the kit. I love the purple.
Yeah. We're probably releasing in a few different colours this year for supporters. So
love that. I'll definitely be involved.
Yes.
Free of charge or?
Yeah.
Only for you, bud.
You pay extra. Well, that wraps up our show. Thank you so much for being involved and sharing your experiences and about NAIDOC Week, etc. This will be up online on all our socials, and good luck for the NAIDOC Week round to all the competitors and yourselves. I hope you both score some goals.
Yes.
Celebrate.
Yeah.
And celebrate too. Until next time, see you guys.